Global Leadership Group presents
Leadership Summit 2026.
Theme: Ethical Leadership for Sustainable Economic Growth.
Leadership Masterclass coming up.
Important. See, if you really want to develop yourself as a leader, particularly as a woman, you need to invest in your development.
Quickly, organizations benefits from strong mentorship and sponsorship culture if you are able to increase the engagement, and then you grow individuals within the line.
Hello. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from Ghana in the West Africa. It's that time of the month that Global Leadership Group, we come and then we work hard at getting creme de la creme resource persons, and then we deliberate on issues or topics that will build capacity for leaders. Our goal is to all the time build capacity for leaders, because we believe that if leadership has it right, then the organization's goal will be achieved effortlessly. So this evening, we are privileged to have Dr. Victor Abbey to be our resource person. So Dr. Victor Abbey is a strategic corporate leadership and change management consultant. He's a mentor, public speaker, and author with in-depth knowledge, understanding, and experience in diverse corporate operational environments and perspectives. He is a distinguished veteran military leader and currently the chief servant and managing partner of V5 Solutions Limited and FV Global Consults, respectively. He's a revered professional with keen interests and focus in building the leadership capacity of businesses and individuals on the African continent. His works over the years has been largely aimed at promoting and creating the right environment for sustainable development and growth on the African continent through accountable governance and teamwork. He is known for his mentorship and coaching of many leaders, many business leaders, both young and old, on good corporate governance and strategic leadership across the continent through his weekly Leadership 360 TV program, a live and interactive leadership strategy and change management education on TV program. Dr. Abbey is the author of VUCA World and the Future of Corporate Strategy and Leadership, published and launched in 2021 and described by many as a masterpiece and a corporate strategic leadership toolkit. Dr. Abbey holds a doctorate degree in business administration, a master's degree in applied business research, and certificate in entrepreneurship and innovation from SB Swiss Business School, Zurich, Switzerland, and an executive MBA from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KUNUST, Ghana, and a degree in archaeology and philosophy from the University of Ghana, certificate in project management from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA. He is also a recipient of the Business Executive Magazine's Leadership Award in Philanthropy and HIVE Africa Global Leaders Award for Excellence 2024. Hello, Doc. You are welcome.
Thank you very much, and good evening to our audience out there. It's a pleasure to be on once again.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, without wasting much time, I'll go in straight. So, our topic for this evening is the art of delegation. The art of delegation, empowering others to lead. The art of delegation, empowering others to lead. So, Doc, please, why is delegation so difficult for many leaders and even experienced ones? So, like, what mindset shifts are necessary to delegate effectively? Hello, 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 Doc. Oh. Hello, Dr. Abbey. Hello, hello, Doctor. Hello, Dr. Abbey. Hello. I think there's a network problem from Dr. Abbey's end. Hello, Dr. Abbey. Hello, please, can you hear me? Hello, Dr. Abbey. Hello. I think Dr. Abbey has a challenge with his network. Yeah. I'm sure he's working at getting back. So, I pray his network gets repaired for him to come because the topic is very interesting. Because delegation is very difficult for a lot of leaders. I wonder why, even experienced leaders. So Doc will tell us why, will give us insights into that. Because if you, as a leader, if you don't delegate, how are you expecting your subordinates or team members to also learn and grow, to fill in the gap whenever you're not around? So delegation is very, very important. So this evening we are going to treat the art of delegation, which is so empowering others to lead. And Dr. Abe is very competent in that. I mean, he's so knowledgeable in that. He's helped a lot of corporate institutions to um, beef up their game. So we are very happy to, you know, interact with him. I think the feedback I'm getting is Dr. Abe's network is really worrying him. I hope and pray he's able to work it out. Oh, this network. Okay. So whilst we are waiting for um waiting for our honorable guest speaker, I see Mr. Ishmael Bonny. Mr. Ishmael Bonny. Mr. Ishmael, thank you for joining us. And whilst we are waiting for him, I believe your network is fine. So, would you mind sharing your thoughts on why you think delegation is difficult for many leaders, even experienced leaders? Delegating jobs or projects or something to their team members to do is difficult for them. Mr. Ishmael, what is your opinion on that? Why do you think it happens like that? I see good evening. Good evening, HR. Good evening from Mr. Abraham Budu. Hello, Mr. Abraham. Thanks for joining. Mr. Abraham, we are trying to find out why delegation is so difficult for many leaders, even experienced leaders. They find it difficult to delegate. Why? Because if you don't delegate, how will your subordinates also learn? As a leader, you can't do everything all by yourself. So delegation is key. And it's by way of empowering them, you know, to also lead and get the experience so that if tomorrow or in future you the leader, you are not available, the job or the reason for which you are there will go on. But unfortunately, it's difficult for leaders to delegate, most of them. All right. Our honorable is in now. So I think I'll direct my question to him. Okay. Hello, Dr. Abe.
Happy.
Uh-huh.
Apologies for internet connectivity issues, but I
Yeah.
think I'm fully back now, and so we can proceed.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. Yeah. So, Doc, please, I was finding out that why is delegation so difficult for many leaders, not only the young or new ones, but even the experienced ones. What mindset shifts are necessary to delegate effectively?
All right. Once again, thank you for having me on this all important program. As I indicated previously, it's always exciting to have opportunity to share knowledge and to gain knowledge as well. Leadership is such a very important area that we all need to work on and understand better. Now, back to your question, I want to say that, you see, when we talk about leadership, understanding the concept of leadership itself is what is critical to you even being ready and willing to delegate. More often than not, a lot of people hesitate to delegate because somehow, somewhat, they feel the authority that they have by virtue of being leaders will be curtailed somehow or will be reduced, or their influence, if I may put it that way. So a lack of confidence in themselves, in their own selves, sometimes compel them to hesitate in delegating tasks to other people. And see, low self-esteem is also another thing that may prevent somebody or may slow down somebody's willingness to delegate to other people because of the feeling that once I delegate, I am projecting the other person more than myself, or the other person will take the shine out of me, so they hesitate in delegating. Or even if they delegate, they still want to be in charge and micromanage the person just to be sure that their presence is felt. But I am of the view, and from experience, realize that as you delegate and you allow people to work, it gives you opportunity to even provide guidance by sharing your experience with those people and building their capacity to even stay in there for you when you are not there. Because you can be, as a leader, you can be taken over by anything. It may be sickness, it can be other tasks that you have to perform at different places at the same time. Can you be everywhere at the same time? When you delegate, you are able to build capacity of your team members to be able to, replace you or to function well in your absence. So delegation should be something that becomes normal to leaders. And we should also look at what I say personal mastery. Personal mastery has to do with getting to know yourself and appreciating your own shortcomings. And it has something linked to emotional intelligence as well. But personal mastery goes beyond you understanding your own capabilities, and so as to even delegate people to fill in the gaps for you without necessarily exposing your own weaknesses or lapses. So some of the things that leaders can do, the second part of your question, if I get it right, it has to do with what are some of the ways that leaders, or the skills or tools that leaders can use to be able to delegate effectively. If
Yeah.
that is the second part of it, I will be quick to say that, okay, I'll be quick to say that you get to know, leaders must be prepared to know their people, their team members very well. How do you get to know your people very well? By getting closer. There must be presence. You must get to appreciate the capability of each person within your team. Based on that, you will be able to delegate effectively, because you will know it's not just about delegating, but it's about knowing who can handle what task better than the other. Let's example, if somebody is to go, you are scheduled to give a presentation, maybe in a conference or in a workshop, or train people. You are the one to train. But not everybody at the workplace has capacity or the capability to train or to even deliver speeches. If you get closer to your team members, you'll be able to identify those who have the skill of writing effectively, or making or putting presentation together, and those who are capable of presenting those things to an audience. Then you will be able to delegate who does what and who does what at any point in time. So knowing your people is key, and also mastering your own self is also key, so that you know what you want at any point in time, you know what gaps exist in your own capability, and you will be able to let people function very well. And if you identify gaps within your own team members or among them, you will be able to now say, let me build capacity so that in my absence, I will be able to um, delegate somebody to handle, the kind of task that will be very critical, to fill in the gaps in my absence. So those are
Yes.
my comments on the first question you have asked.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is true. You need to know your own self. So know your own self in terms of your strengths and your abilities. So if you want to delegate some, and then also you need to know your team members very well. So you know what each can do. So that when you are delegating to them, I mean, what you are expecting the person to deliver, it will happen as expected, so that your plan will not fail. Thank you so much. My next question is, how do you identify the right person to delegate a task or project to? Is it about skill, or is it about potential, or trust, or a combination?
Well, I was smiling because I think I was almost going to overrun the question. I didn't know this was going to be the next question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you see, it's a combination. It's a combination of those the skill, the trust, and all that. In the sense that I may be capable in, I may have a skill in doing something in the absence of my leader or my superior or my supervisor. But if the trust doesn't also exist between the two of us, that I will do as is expected of me, or I may go and do something else, the, he or she may not be able or willing to give me the opportunity to act on or in his stead or in her stead. So trust is required, and as much as skill is important. Why another reason why trust is very important is that whatever it is that is going to be said, sometimes the individual may be required or may be compelled to answer or to provide some answers to some questions, follow-up questions. Do you have the trust that the person have what it takes to say exactly how you want it to be said? Or would the person be in a position to kind of not divulge certain information, sensitive information out there in the bid to provide answers to certain questions that may come up as you delegate? Or will the person be ready to even resort to you for clarity before providing certain, answers to certain questions or making further presentation? So trust is key. And the skill there also dovetails into not only, technical skill, it also encompasses things like emotional intelligence as well, so that as the person has technical knowledge, that he or she has the emotional intelligence to handle certain, issues. Because let me give a critical example. A CEO delegates the chief operating officer to maybe attend a workshop on his or maybe a professional workshop on his or her behalf. And the chief operating officer goes in there and an issue of strategy comes up and somebody challenges the strategy of the company. And the chief operating officer, knowing very well that he is in charge of operations, may go haywire and now venture into saying all sort of things that will be attributed to the MD, but that may not necessarily be what the MD would have said. So if the CEO does not exercise high level of emotional intelligence, he or she is likely to go off gear or go off the limits and say certain things that may not be too good. And in that case, those things may or may not undermine the leadership of the organization or the CEO. So it's very important that skill, trust is required, but it must be a combination, and all these things must be understood clearly in the mind of the leader before that is done. But you see, let me talking about trust. I am a fan of the trust equation that talks about credibility plus reliability and intimacy divided by self orientation. Where credibility, you got a skill, all right. Reliability, trust is there. Your word is your word. You may be closer to people where people understand that, oh, you care for people or you are a people-oriented person. But if the focus is always on you, you may lose that trust.
Yeah.
So, in as much as we all yearn to trust people, we must understand that people also must trust us as leaders. If you are not trusted as a leader, because you are self-centered, all you have the skill, you have the professional know-how, your word is your word, but you are too self-centered, trust will not be there. The one you are delegating must also trust you in as much as you also want to trust the person before you delegate. So
Okay.
that's it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that is true. So the trust and the skill plus emotional intelligence in all, to a combination of all, very
Yeah.
important. Thank you. Thank you. So, Doc, please, what are the key elements of effective delegation? Not just dumping work, but truly empowering someone. Hello.
Hello. Okay. I missed your last
Mark.
word.
Okay. Right. So I was asking, what are the key elements of effective delegation? Not just dumping work, but truly empowering someone. Hmm. What are the
Okay.
key? Yeah.
So key components of delegating or
Yes.
delegation.
Yes, please.
Okay. So definitely there must be clarity of what is to be done, the
Yes.
task that is being assigned to the person. There must be clarity about it. What is the mission? What is the task? It must be clear to everybody. And the leader who is delegating must owes it a duty or is responsible to ensuring that the delegated person understands clearly what he or she is to do. Without that, you cannot hold the person accountable or responsible for certain, issues that may crop up later. And how do you get to be sure that the person clarity is achieved? You you have a conversation, a task is given, the conversation must be held to clarify from the individual whether he or she understands clearly what is to be done. If need be, leader must summarize at the end of the conversation that this is exactly what has to be done and clarity is achieved thereof. Number two is within that task, what are the timings? What are the expectations? All this must be clarified. It is not just about go do this on my behalf and that is all about it. No, what is exactly to be done? When is that to be done? Who are the stakeholders? And who are the stakeholders who may have to make some inputs into that? And what is the level of authority, or to what extent is that delegated authority supposed to be used? What are the parameters for that defines the delegated, responsibility? All this must be clear to the individuals, the leader, and the delegated official as well, so that the person may not overstep his or her bounds and all that. And there must be feedback. There must be provision for feedback as well, so that the leader must also be available to support. Or if he or she is not available to support, who is the next in line to provide support if need be, even though you have delegated that power or that authority to a person? Who is the next to support or to provide support immediately when it is required? All this must be clarified. So clarity requires a whole lot, the task at hand, whether it is well understood, who are the stakeholders, what is to be done, when is it to be done, what is the limit of the delegated authority, who else is available to support that delegated, official. All this must be clear. We mentioned earlier about trust and all that. I think they all speak to the components of the requirements for delegation as well.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you so much. That is very true. So it's not just about throwing dumping the work on the one you're delegating to and leaving him to go and swim in the sea for fish to destroy his or her eyes. But there should be clarity of facts. Yeah, clarity
Exactly.
of
Exactly.
facts, a
And,
timeline.
and, and let me be quick. Let me be quick to also mention if there are requirements for resources to be provided for the delegated official, that must be also provided so that the person will not have to struggle to get the necessary resources to deliver that responsibility. So resource support is also key.
Support. Sure, sure. Thank you so much. That is very, very true. Very true. So, Doc, please, can you kindly share a time when delegation went wrong, and what did you do? What, what did you learn, and how did you handle it?
The
A
the
time that
time
delegation went wrong, and then what did you learn from it, and how did you handle it?
Okay, if I get you right,
Yeah.
what an occasion or a time when delegation went wrong
Yes,
and
please.
what I learned from it
Learn
and what,
how you handled it. Yeah.
all right. So there was an occasion where I had to be at two different places and I had to delegate one of my team members to attend that program, one of the programs on my behalf. Because I was in a kind of hurry, I just quickly spell out the details on, in the email and sent it to the individual to read and give me feedback. But unfortunately, he couldn't give me feedback before I got to the other program. So I was having my presentation when he was compelled to also go in there. And to be very sincere, the information he put out there was totally opposite what I've asked him to deliver. But that is where you have to learn the fact that clarity was not achieved before he went into action, if I may put it that way. So that was the first lesson. Now, what do you have to do about it? I did not go all the way to say, this is not what I told the individuals to say. He gave the wrong information. I didn't do that because, mind you, once you go frontal and say this was not the information he was to put out, you have also killed his if I may put it this way, you have killed his confidence level. The next time he may become jittery and will not even know what to say. That it is only what you tell the person that's the person will say. So I schooled him on adversely using the word school. I had a conversation with him to be the one to go out there and correct the information he had put out there, that he misunderstood what they were requesting for, and this was the right information, so that quickly that information can be corrected. So he was the one to go and make the correction, not me. So that between the two of us, we understood that the wrong information was put out there. And I also appreciated the fact that I did not have enough time to get him have clarity or to gain clarity on what exactly he was to put out there, so that at the end of the day we all learn to manage regardless of the time constraints to achieve clarity before the person goes out there. So that is how I handle it, so that at the end of the day we learn from it and we moved on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Interesting. Interesting. So we have
Because somebody else would have gone out there to say, no, this is not what I told you to say. So he will either organize his own thing and
yeah.
put it out there and say that, no, this is wrong information and blah blah blah, and that will not be too good for
Yeah. That
leadership.
will, yes, that will kill the confidence of the person you are trying to
So,
groom or delegate, of course, to become a leader soon. Yeah. Thank you
exactly.
so. Yes. So I'm
Thank
reading
you.
some of the comments from our viewers. Um, Mr. Abraham Abudu said, "Good evening, HR." Data Link says, "Great program." Mr. Abraham Abudu said, would be happy to delegate. Any visionary leader will be happy to delegate HR. In God we trust says, network is troubling everyone. We understand the situation. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Francis Lamptey says, leaders don't delegate because of trust issues and fear of being replaced once others can do what they are doing. That is very true. Then Mr. Abraham Budu says, it's very sad that sometimes they don't want you to know what they do. So when they break down, when they break down, nothing works. Yeah, and that is not the best at all. That is not the best. In God we trust says, combination of skills and trust is very important. Good to know. Thank you, dog. Then in God we trust again says, understanding the clarity of your task is the key to success. Is the key to success. Yeah. Mr. Abraham says that's priority. That's prior notice for solid preparation. Yes, yes, that is true. That is true. That is true. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we are going on break, after which we'll get back. Thank you.
Global Leadership Group presents
Leadership Summit 2026.
Theme: Ethical Leadership for Sustainable Economic Growth.
Leadership Masterclass coming up.
Hello, welcome back. Welcome back from break.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Abe, so is how do you balance accountability with autonomy when delegating to others? And where is the line between guidance and micromanagement? How do you balance accountability with autonomy when delegating to others? And so where is the line between guidance and micromanagement?
All right. Thank you. You see, the issue of leadership and accountability comes in when leaders and their team members understand clearly where the boundaries are, where their responsibilities end, and where somebody else's begin. And it also dovetails into how you provide guidance to people. So if I know that I am accountable or I am responsible for a particular, line of assignment or task, and it is clear, and I have supervision over other people, when I delegate what falls within my domain, I should appreciate the fact that those that I delegate part of my task to may require some support from me. And as I indicated earlier, your interaction with your team members over time would have given you an idea about who has what capacity to deliver what. And you take the final accountability lies at your doorstep as the leader. As you delegate authority or you delegate part of your task to your team members, you are responsible, you are accountable for whatever it is. You don't say, because I delegated it, I'm no longer accountable or responsible for that. And if you know your people very well, providing the right support to them to deliver is also, you are responsible for it. But where the line is that you need, when you clarify the task to be carried out on your behalf, and clarity is sought after you providing direction, there's no need for you to indicate how it should be done and go into much details, because you must also create room for people to be creative, to be innovative in their thinking. Otherwise, you're going to be telling people, I want you to do it like this, like that, like that, like that, and they will do it as per your direction. If they encounter any challenge along the line, they will keep coming back to you. And that, for me, is micromanagement. You must just provide clarity to what is to be done. And if there is a need to seek guidance, they will come back to you. But the guidance you give is to make sure that they clearly understand what is at stake, what is to be done. But you are the overall, in overall terms, you are accountable for whatever they put out there or they deliver at the end of the day. Now, talking about the issue of clarity, let me use this thing that the military uses. They use what I think I mentioned it the last time, the mission command approach to leadership, where at any point in time, clarity is ensured by providing time and space for individuals to understand what is to be done, why they are doing it, and the how is left for them to decipher, so that at the various levels, individuals can be creative in their thinking or in their thought process so that they can deliver well. But the leader is accountable for every action. So within the period, what they call a mission has been defined. There are different groups to deliver different aspects of that task. But the leader can delegate one of his or her duties to one other group to say, do this on my behalf. And clarity must be provided. When that mission command concept talks about the fact that there must be room created for the team to come back or reach out to the leader to seek clarification. If clarification is not achieved, and then you go ahead to deliver that assigned task or delegated task, and it backfires, the leader is responsible and accountable for it. So accountability lies with the leader. There is the need for the leader to provide clarity in order not to see him or herself going back and forth trying to provide direction all the time. That may be tantamount to micromanagement. But as for guidance, the leader must also be available to provide guidance. In my earlier submission, I mentioned that who are the stakeholders? If you are not available, who else is available to support or to provide support for the team? That is also guidance. Some leaders, out of what somebody said, the fear, the insecurity surrounding themselves, they want to make sure every single aspect of what is being done by the delegated official or team, they are in the picture. It's
Yeah.
just not the best. That may amount to, micromanagement, and that doesn't promote team development as well.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because I used to do that myself, and I realized it wasn't the best, because it doesn't give opportunity to the person to think or like do other research or try to find out other ways of handling it. So the person is virtually relying on you. So how then can the person grow? You know. So I agree with you. I agree with you. So look, please, what advice would you give to emerging leaders who struggle with letting go of control? Advice, like what advice would you kindly give to emerging leaders who struggle with letting go of control?
I don't know why when you get to the last part, then the word is not coming. He
Okay,
said
okay,
advice to the emerging leaders
yes.
on why. Let me be clear.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry. So I was asking what advice you would give to emerging leaders who struggle with letting go of control. They struggle with letting go of control. Yeah.
Okay. So you see, the fundamental, the foundation of leadership is understanding the leadership concept itself and appreciating the fact that it is not about the the control you have that makes you a leader. The controls you have does not make you or do not make you a leader. Your impact on people is what make you or is what makes you a leader. So if you fundamentally understand that leadership is not about your authority, or it's not about the position, it's not about the title, it's not about, then you tend to realize that you don't really need to, as somebody would say, get full control over people or get grip over people to prove that you are the leader. No.
Mm,
Control comes in, you may have a particular person within your team who is not even the leader within the team, but when he enters the room, everybody is ready to listen to that person. Everybody obeys whatever the person says. That is not about position. It's just that the person has certain qualities that he or she exhibits, and everybody, it resonates with a lot of people. So, emerging leaders must learn the act of leadership. It's an act. It's not a science. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's an act. You have to learn it and learn to appreciate that it gives you, I used the word somewhere, I said leadership is that which gives you the nerve to kind of, you know, harness people's skills and deploy them appropriately for a task to be achieved. So it is not about control. It's not about control. Sometimes your team members may even have to make suggestions to you that you may have to succumb to because you don't know it all. So if in our bid to have control of our people, as the statement will go, and we may end up losing sight of the fact that you are to influence and impact on people positively so that they can achieve their own aspirations as well, in as much as they are supporting you as the one providing direction and guidance towards the achievement of the overall organizational goal. So if you are an emerging leader and all you think about is control, 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 I bet you when you are not there, things will go haywire
yeah.
because your presence may compel people to do certain things, but in reality they are not you have not been able to, impact positively for them to appreciate what is to be done. So leaders the rudiments of leadership. Leadership is not a science. It's not a 1 + 1 = 2. It is an act. You must be tactful. You must be people person. You must have emotional intelligence. You must, build capability yourself. You must build trust so as to get things done and done well. So that would be my advice. And you see, as we spoke sometime a few weeks back, when you get into a leadership appointment or role, one of the key requirements is for you to appreciate what your role is and who within your team are the critical stakeholders and who does what are the capabilities within your team and all that. With that, and you can just oppose it on your own capability and harness diverse, competencies within your team to achieve your goal. It's not about control at all. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doc. So, Doc, please, what are the signs that delegation is working well, and how do you celebrate or build on that success?
Okay. So one of the key success factors or signals that things are working is when things are clear or clarity is achieved and people deliver as expected or even beyond expectation, then things are working. When things are also not working and you get to appreciate that, yes, it has been delivered, but not up to expectation, then you also build capacity to ensure that future delegations or delegated authority is used wisely to achieve whatever it is. So achieving success all the time is not necessarily the the pointer to successful delegation. As things are not even achieved as expected, it's also a sign that there's a need for capacity to be built for better performance next time. It's also a lesson to you, the leader, as well, that there's more to be done. And when you do more, people achieve more for you. But where there are positive results, then you know you are on the right track. And I always say that leaders, regardless of the results you get, you must go back to the drawing board and say, how was it done right? So, what lessons are there for others to also learn so that they can also benefit from that opportunity to build their own capacity as well, because across board. Because one of the dangers in delegation or delegating authority is that if care is not taken, you may focus on just one person within your team, and it will be seen by others as your favorite. That is your favorite person, but that person may not necessarily have all what it takes to achieve certain things on your behalf. So leaders must also look beyond and explain why this person needs to do this and why that person needs to do the other.
Yeah,
I think the second part of your question has to do with if what
how do
should be
you
done.
celebrate? Yeah, how do you celebrate or build on that success?
You see, in my example that I gave, I indicated that I did not blame the 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 individual. I didn't tell him that is not exactly what I expected you to do, but I compelled him to go back to correct the mistake. It's a way of also showing support to that person. Now, celebrating can come in the form of just a tap and say, "You did so well. I'm proud of you, and you are such a wonderful guy and or wonderful lady who has potential." Then you are encouraging people to be more available or to trust you. But sometimes leaders fail to even show the little appreciation by saying, "Thank you for acting on my behalf. You really saved me, a lot from all the trouble." They will rather feel that maybe showering praises mean the individual will get, bloated and begin to feel that, oh yeah, so I'm the new kid on the block. I know it all. But I believe that when leaders begin to show appreciation, no matter the minutest form it comes, people appreciate it. It can be a text message, it can be a verbal, a face-to-face interaction. It can even be appreciation in public. Let's say within the team, that individual can be celebrated before the team members and say that the last time I gave this. But you see, when it comes to the team, the public celebration, leaders must also be careful not to stop after one. You have to do it for all so that you will not be seen as being biased and all that. So there are so many forms or many ways that success can be celebrated, and not to the individual a note to the entire team, an opportunity to make a statement, and all that will be a sign of celebrating individuals and encouraging people to take up roles.
Okay, very true. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much for these deep, in fact, I call them lessons. We've learned a lot from all that you've told us. And then as leaders, so we would, um, in fact, I've noted a whole lot of things down. If I want to, even if I want to summarize it, it take another 30 minutes. I believe the viewers and listeners have also learned a lot from it. I want to read a few of our comments from our viewers. Mr. Abraham Budu says, I believe leaders are born, not raised. Leadership is divine and comes with teamwork. Sometimes, as a born leader, you wouldn't know your influence, but the team wants you. Mr. Abraham continued. He said, Joseph was in prison for 13 years, and right from there came a great leader in Egypt. In God we trust says, well spoken, Doc. Insecurity leads to micromanaging. It's a lesson learned. Thank you, Doc. Then Mr. Abraham, he says, success is marked in leadership when every subordinate becomes effective on his or her roles with a bond of teamwork. With a bond of teamwork. Yeah. So Mr. Abraham says, HR, kudos to Doug. We can't wait for the next section. Ooh, that's lovely. Sure. We've really learned a lot from Doug this evening. Yeah. So unfortunately, all too soon, our time is up. Dr. Victor Abe, in fact, GLG cannot thank you enough. Myself too, I can't thank you enough. We've learned so much from you. Thank you so much. God bless you. You were very busy, but when we called on you, you readily said, okay, you would make time for us, and you did. We are so grateful. Just remember, Oliver Twist asked for more. So please, when we come again, you
Anyway, I must also, I appreciate, I am honored, I am privileged to be part of this journey of sharing knowledge and learning as well. And I must appreciate all the comments that are in there, because indeed we all don't know it all. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. God bless us all.
Yeah. And Mr. Abraham has brought another comment I would like to read before we go. He says, success is marked in leadership when every subordinate becomes effective on his or her roles with a bond of teamwork. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So thank you so much to our viewers also. So thank you very much. We've come to the end of our program. Thanks to our communications manager, Mr. Christopher Tete. God bless you for all that you do for us. And next month, by this time, we'll come your way with another very interesting topic. Thank you and goodbye.
Global Leadership Group presents
Leadership Summit 2026.
Theme: Ethical Leadership for Sustainable Economic Growth.
Leadership Masterclass coming up.